Okay, this is exciting. We are getting close to sewing in our signatures, which means we need to make a decision about our cover. So I have my cover ready, my signatures are ready. So I need to decide what's going to go on the inside of the cover and how I'm going to sew the signatures in. I have made a decision to sew right through the spine, and I will have visible stitching. The reason is because I really couldn't decide. I never much get an opportunity to use my black thread. They're in these Victorian and vintage designs. When do we ever get to, well, I shouldn't say that. Black is a common color, but I just typically, as a rule, like look how much of the white I've used. This one's pretty much gone. I never use the black. So this is great. I'm going to use a black thread that helped me make my decision. I'm just going to put this little drawer away, out of the way. So I have my thread. It's going in the box. And I have paper selected for the inside. I've gone through. I didn't want to bore you with that. But I picked this paper because of the moths from this pack. Mariposa by DCWV. Not sure. I bought this secondhand, so I couldn't tell you where I got it, but it's lovely. Very lovely. It has just a little bit of gold fleck there, so I thought that was fitting. And this dark pattern here and the moss I thought that's going to go nicely, so that's going to go against the front. And then the back signature, this will be that'll be the last signature, will go against here. So I'm going to use the bottom part of the 12 by 12, and then I'm going to take this section and turn it and use it to cover my center spine. So let's get right to it. Okay, so I don't know how much we'll get done in this 10-minute video, but let's get started at least. Okay, so this is my top. I know that my journal is 8.5 tall, so I want my papers inside to just have a very teeny tiny border. I'll measure that for you, but about like that. So I start with an initial cut of just under 8.5, and then I size it from there. Actually, you know what? Let's cut it at 8.5, and then we'll trim it up nice and even edged with my, what do you call that? Little mini guillotine cutter. Okay. So I'm going to get that out of the way. There we go. So let's make that 12. So I know I want to keep this portion, so that's the edge I'm measuring from. And like I said, we'll do, get this box out of the way. I'm going to do 8.5 right up against the edge there. Let's start with that. I'm going to keep this for the center spine. I could do a different color, but I'm just going to go with the same. What do we got here? A little bit of tape. Okay, and I need this to be like 5.5. I want to keep as much of this image as possible, so I'm going to measure from this edge we're going to start with 5.5, because that's the width from here to here. This is going to be the back cover, so we'll start with 5.5, and then this one we'll go 5.5 from this edge, and then we'll trim down. And what we'll do if we need to trim, which we will, I'll save this, is we'll trim from the inside. So this is what we end up with. Let's get this guy out of the way. Done with him. That's another nice trimmer. Can't go wrong with Fiskars. These little, I actually use these little, it's great. I love those measurements in there. And you can get the titanium blades. They last longer. Worth it. Okay. So it'll be like this. and then signatures will go in here. Okay, it's starting to shape up, take shape. So, like I said, I've made this exactly 8.5, and I'm going to trim them up. And you can also see it's over. I need it to be like about there. Need about the same amount on all sides. So let's start with the top and bottom. Just going to take off a smidge. Start, and a smidge off the inside. I'm not measuring. If you do a little bit at a time, look at that. How's that? I like that. I think maybe just a little bit more off here, but the top and bottom, I quite like that. Yes. Just a little bit more. Sorry about the noise of this thing. I have a hearing sensitivity. I'll tell you about it someday, but that's why I'm always apologizing about the noise. Okay, so that one's good. So now that I have this one and I'm happy with it, this one should be exactly the same. So I'm just going to put them back to back, and with my pencil, wherever it got to, right here, I'm just going to give myself, let me just do that again. Let me do that again. And just give myself a little guideline for trimming. Just trim from here. Oh, am I trimming the right side? Let's double check. No, I'm not. Good thing I looked. I want to trim off the inside, and I want to keep this edge. But yeah. Yes, I do. Or do I want to try to take some of this off actually? So I'm right. Yeah, you know what? See how close this is? And I want to keep as much of this emblem as possible. So maybe I will trim from here. Yeah, I'm going to. And then the top, yes, that's fine. I can trim from the top. Normally I would have swapped that, but in this case, oh, we've got some nice clean edges to work with. Yeah, see, that's gonna work. Let's just double check. Yes, I like that very much. That's perfect. Okay, so if you can see where those very tiny margins are all the way around, very nice. That's perfect. Okay, set that aside for now. This aside. Clean as you go. Clean as you go. Don't save every scrap. Only the scraps you're going to probably use. Get rid of the tiny stuff. I have a garbage can right behind me. I used to have one under my desk. It doesn't fit there anymore, so now it's behind me. Okay, here is where I'm going to distress or ink the sides before I glue. I don't know how many times I have forgotten to do this part. On thicker paper, I do the flick like this, and on thin paper, I would just dab like that. It actually looks more natural, but on the thicker paper, I'm going to do that. This is probably going to get covered up, so I'm not real concerned about that. Now on the corners, I like to just do a little extra. So I just go diagonally from there. And then I might do a little extra at a few spots where it's just kind of white like that. Let's do these corners too, in case they show. Don't know if they will. And this one, so this is the inside cover. It's going to be like this. Yeah, I was flipping through trying to find something to match, but I wanted it to be fairly neutral, so I came across this image with moths. I had a moth the other night in my bedroom, and I ran and got the fly swatter. I don't really need the inside that much. And then I came back and flicked on my lamp to see him, my side lamp to see him a little better. And he was so beautiful. He was like the softest green, like a beautiful green, almost gray green, and I just didn't have the heart to kill him, so I let him go. He was so pretty, so pretty. Normally the first thing I want to do is get them out of the house, but I let him go, and hopefully he made his way outside by now. Okay, there we have it. So that's good for today, for right now. Next video, we will actually start gluing these in, and we'll start, we're going to glue the spine, and then we'll start marking our holes for stitching. See you in the next one.